actions will the Victorian Liberals take to protect our community's safety?
Yeah. One of our priorities, as we've always said about this, is actually having move-on laws. Move-on laws we used to have in Victoria, so if you had specific behaviours, the police would have the power to move people on. The government got rid of them. Now they're coming out with different policies and legislation now, but the biggest impact we ever had was when we had events like that, the police would come in and move them on. If they didn't move on, then the circumstances they could be arrested. We actually had the prime example of that when I had an event and a group who are neo-Nazis or associated turned up, and we had to leave. And I think it's a sad state when you actually have people who are innocently going along to any event who then have to move on, rather than the police having the power to move on those that are offensive or creating offence. So I think that it's really important. We would reintroduce those move-on laws, and we've said that quite strongly, and the police have said that would be one of the biggest assets they can have.
Where is the guarantee that we can trust the Victorian Liberal Party when it comes to dealing with neo-Nazis?
Because we've done it before, from 2010 to 2014, we did it in the 1990s. We have always been tougher when it comes to this and ensuring we give the police the powers they need. I'm a former police officer. I've used those powers, and I will be encouraging Victoria Police to use them again in the future. And I will guarantee you 100% they will have the powers to ensure they can move people on, because people going about their legal duties, about just celebrating an event, about enjoying their life, they should have the right of way, not people blocking them who have hate. We do believe if you run around, there's a difference between breaking or walking into 7-Eleven and stealing a Mars bar, than there is breaking into someone's home with a knife. And it needs to be treated differently, and it's currently not through the bail system. So that's why we're pretty strict when it comes to bail. When you put them into the system, we talk about jail. Most of the kids end up obviously youth detention. There is some problems in our youth detention system because it's been let down. In 2010, Mary Waldron was our then Minister for Youth Justice, and she brought in Parkville Education. That program has been let fall. You cannot expect any system where you're bringing kids to jail system to lock them up and don't offer education, opportunities for growth and development, and then go, oh, I'll get out there. They're going to come out here. So you have to have a multi-pronged attack. Number one, if you're going to put kids into the prison system, into the youth justice system, you must have systems and programs. Some will be engaging with their cultural leaders. Some will be engaging with their religious leaders. Education. And also understanding there's a group of kids that go in there, their IQ is just... And there's a group of kids that go in there, they're going to struggle when it comes to education. So our system, though, is every single one of those kids goes to the same classroom. So you've got a kid who you turn around who's going to probably give you some scientific answer for everything forward. And the kid next to him who says, I'm struggling with 3 plus 6. So we teach them 3 plus 6. And I just think we need to have a system that says, okay, we can identify these kids. Just to let you know, to put a kid into a justice centre costs us $5,900. That's $5,900 a day. So to put a child into a youth justice centre, I can send 40 kids to Scotch College for the same price. So that's a failing system. We are the most expensive in Australia and have the worst outcomes. Why? Because the government's allowed it to get that way. So bring the programs back in, the kids are there. Second prong, before I won't go on and on, but the second prong is there's programs out there, Operation New Start, Back to the Bush, engagement programs, where we can take the kids earlier when they start to enter the justice system. If we get them then and remove them from that life of crime, the outcomes are 100 to 1 anywhere in the world. Some of them will still go on a path of crime, but they won't go on the path of violent crime. Less chance. Some still will, but very, very less chance. Fantastic book by Jeffrey Cameron, which is Fist, Stick, Knife, Gun. If you don't address it when they're fighting with a fist, they'll bring a stick. If you don't address it when they're fighting with a stick, they'll bring a knife. And if you don't address it then, they'll bring a gun. His intervention model, which he used in New York, is one that would still work today. Unfortunately, in Victoria, we've gone past it. We're actually not. We're in one advantage. We don't have the same gun problem with access, but we're at nearly the highest level. We need to intervene early. The condition is you must go with this group, do this program, complete education. If you don't turn up to school, here's the consequences of that. So we've got to put more of those things in place.